hearing a Republican from California, Congressman Kevin Kiley. Kevin, good morning.
Morning.
Question, if this legislation is passed, it will lessen the federal government's role in natural disasters, leaving the states to kind of cover that cost. How will this new bill help Americans who have likely lost everything, including their homes?
Yeah, and that is vitally important to me. In my district, we've had several devastating wildfires, and there have been huge frustrations with the way FEMA has performed its role with slowing the rebuilding process. There was a fire in my district in Grizzly Flats where hundreds of people lost their homes, and years later, they still have not received the individual assistance that they're entitled to. So I believe this bill is an opportunity to actually strengthen FEMA by allowing it to concentrate on the role that it can play best. And so that means a couple things. It means, number one, being more nimble and cutting bureaucracy in order to be more responsive when natural disasters strike. And number two, streamlining the process for victims to get the relief that they need and are entitled to. But perhaps even more importantly, it's going to focus on pre-mitigation efforts so that we can stop natural disasters before they arrive, or at least make communities more resilient to those that can't be prevented.
I think all eyes were on California this past year when we watched the wildfires. I myself lived in Sonoma County for years, and I've just seen how much things have just changed. These natural disasters seem to come more furious and more often. Do you believe that not only a change in the infrastructure of FEMA itself is the best move when we're approaching yet another season of what could be a rough go for California?
Well, there's a lot we need to do to prevent natural disasters. We've had terrible wildfire management policies, for example, in California, and frankly, at the national level as well, where you talk to folks who are actually trying to manage our forests in order to mitigate fire risk, and it can take many, many years just to get a project off the ground. So we do have a bill, a bipartisan bill, by the way, in the House that has passed the House now, called the Fix Our Forests Act, that's going to expedite these projects related to forest management. But that is a fundamental purpose of this bill related to FEMA as well, is to focus more on the pre-disaster side of things. So stopping wildfires before they happen, making communities more resilient to floods and other natural disasters by building infrastructure, evacuation routes, and generally, realizing that you could spare a lot of money and lives and heartbreak if you focus on preventing this harm before it occurs.
And Congressman Kiley, some of the revisions of the FEMA Act of 2025 include taking FEMA out of the Department of Homeland Security and making it an independent agency that reports directly to the president. It would change disaster assistance processes and essentially overhaul every phase of the disaster cycle, like you've suggested needs to happen. Break that down for us, though, and what that actually means for those on the ground.
Yeah, great question, because that's really what matters, is the folks on the ground being able to get the help they need quickly, and victims being able to get the help and relief that they're entitled to, and being able to expedite the rebuilding process when disaster strikes. And I think one of the reasons this bill has gotten bipartisan support is that it elevates the role of FEMA to a cabinet-level position that reports directly to the president, where there's that mechanism of political accountability and the independence that's required in order to most effectively deploy FEMA's resources in a way that is nimble, that responds to disasters, and that allows for states, empowers states to use their own capabilities in tandem with FEMA in order to provide the most efficacious relief.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.